சர்க்குலர் மோஷன் தெரியும் சார்.
சர்க்குலர் மோஷன்.
கொலிஷன் அண்ட் ஆமா சார், சர்க்குலர் மோஷன். அப்ப கொலிஷன்ஸ் தெரியும் சார்.
ஓகே குட்.
அப்போ கைனமேட்டிக்ஸ்ல கொஞ்சம் தெரியும் சார்.
கைனமேட்டிக்ஸ்ல தெரியுமா? ஓகே. சோ கைனமேட்டிக்ஸ்ல வந்து ஒரு 3 ஈக்குவேஷன்ஸ் நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிருப்பீங்க. நான் பேருக்கு
ஓகே சார், உங்க வாய்ஸ் ரொம்ப லோவா இருக்கு சார்.
ஒன் செகண்ட். Right, now clear இருக்கு? Clear? Right now. So you are saying about collisions. Okay, next.
Kinematics and collisions.
Kinematics and collisions. Okay, kinematics la வந்து 3 equations are there. If you remember it. What are the 3 equations?
V is equal to U plus AT.
V is equal to U plus AT. Next step.
Equal to UT plus half AT square.
Super. Okay, next step. Third one.
V square equal to U square plus 2A.
Super, good. Okay, these are the 3 equations. Good. So இது வந்து kinematics. Okay, vectorல ஏதாவது ஞாபகம் இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு? Vectors and scalars. Anything? Okay, so vectors and scalars இல்ல. And
parallelogram la அதுவா சார்?
Right, good. So vectors la வந்து triangle law of method. அது வந்து addition க்கு யூஸ் பண்றோம். Okay. அதே vector multiplication க்கு cross product dot product னு சொல்லிட்டு we'll discuss those. Okay. And the laws of motion la வந்து என்னென்ன டாபிக் வரும் ஏதாவது நான் பேருக்கு? Forces, okay, good. Forces பத்தி நீங்க படிக்கிறீங்க.
Newton's 3 laws.
Newton's 3 laws, good. Next.
And then momentum, impulse and the topics.
Yes, ma, correct, good. Next.
Pulley system பத்தி படிப்போம் சார். Cases.
Next. So have you studied about friction?
Yes sir.
Okay. So friction la வந்து types ஏதாவது ஞாபகம் இருக்கா?
Kinetic friction.
Kinetic friction. Kinetic friction na என்னது? What is it? அப்படின்னா என்னது kinetic friction?
When friction occurs in a body during its motion.
Okay.
We call it kinetic friction.
Right. Okay, so you may have a proper idea about your class 11 topics. Just so headings all தெரியும் and some small content தெரியும். Okay. So when we are starting, not already சொல்லிருக்கேன். So we may start today max இல்ல நான் வந்து முன்னாடி உங்களுக்கு 12 o'clock 1 o'clock I'll update you, or else tomorrow we are going to start. Okay, timing வந்து 3 to 4. Timing வந்து 3 to 4. So I'll give you the schedule also. So நம்ம வந்து எப்படி நம்ம plan பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். So what are the portions and how we are completing it. So it will go around till January first week irukku po ungal classes. Okay, parallelly you'll be having your tests also. Okay, I'll update you everything, right? So okay, so we'll start. And today I'm going to discuss about your chapter. Okay, so it is your electromagnetic induction. And idhula vandu we last class we have discussed about your moving charges. Okay. So moving charges பத்தி discuss பண்ணறோம், and we'll discuss the magnetism later. Magnetism, it is your material. Okay, depends upon the material. Ferromagnetic material, diaferro and paramagnetic material, hysteresis loop பத்தி discuss பண்ணோம், and dipole, magnetic dipole moments and other definitions. It is a small topic. Okay, we'll discuss that one later. It's not that much important. So now we are going to discuss about your electromagnetic induction. As per NCERT only, it is your 6th chapter. As per NCERT, it is your 6th chapter. Okay, electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. Okay, in this electromagnetic induction, okay, so என்னென்ன contents இருக்கு நம்ம ஒரு தடவை discuss பண்ணலாம். First we'll see the contents. Contents வந்து, so first we are going to discuss about its laws. Laws of electromagnetic induction. In the laws of electromagnetic induction, there are 2 laws are there. First one, we'll discuss about the Faraday's laws. Faraday's laws. So in the Faraday's laws, which gives the magnitude of induced EMF, which gives the magnitude of your induced EMF. Induced EMF. Okay. Second one, we'll discuss about your Lenz law. L-E-N-Z. Okay, Lenz law. So here, இது வந்து Faraday's law வந்து magnitude கொடுக்கிறதுனா Lenz law வந்து gives the direction of induced EMF. Gives the direction of induced EMF. Induced EMF. Remember it. So these two laws are there. And Faraday's law, under Faraday's law, again we are going to discuss about two laws. Okay. So here in these two laws, we are going to discuss some experiments. So experiments and the rules and conditions. Okay. So there are two cases are there, two experiments are there. The two experiments we are going to study about your single coil. So we'll call it as a self-induction process, and multiple coils. Discuss one. This is your mutual induction process. Mutual induction will use this principle in your transformers. We'll discuss this one at the end of the chapter. Okay. So first in the last in detail and we'll see some videos also if possible. Okay. So this is your Lenz law and as well as Faraday's law. We'll discuss it in detail. After this, so we'll see the relations. Induced current relation, induced EMF relation. So when you're discussing about these laws, we'll discuss those relations also. And after this, we'll discuss about your methods to induce EMF. Methods to induce EMF. To induce EMF. இதுல first method change in magnetic field. Change in magnetic field. So magnetic field is continuously changing. So when the magnetic field is changing continuously, what will happen? An EMF is induced within the coil. So either discuss பண்றதா we'll discuss as your Faraday's law. So இதுல தான் நம்ம Faraday's law magnetic field change பண்றோம். Second one change in area. Change in area. In the change in area so we can say it as a motional EMF. In the relation ரொம்ப important. Easiest relation. Motional EMF. Okay. And third point change in orientation. Change in orientation. Orientation it is your principle of your AC generator. இதுல நம்ம rectangle coil place பண்றோம். When we are making the coil to rotate, what will happen? இங்க ஒரு electrical energy generate ஆயிருக்கு. So defaults upon the electrical energy. So here there is an EMF induced. We are going to extract it from the flux. EMF E is equal to E naught sin omega t or extraction or equation. In the same relation, we are going to use in your alternating currents. Okay, in the relation and after that, we'll discuss about your methods with respect to EMF relation. We are going to extract that EMF from your Lenz law. Lenz law based on we are going to extract your EMF. And after that, we'll discuss about your eddy currents. So eddy currents, it is one of the losses in your transformer. Okay, so eddy currents induce avoid and what are the applications of eddy current, where we are using, everything we'll discuss. And this eddy current concept is important. And as well as this Lenz law concept is also important. After this, we'll discuss about your you already know about the Fleming's left hand rule, right hand rule. So நம்ம magnetism moving charges discuss பண்ணும்போது நம்ம discuss பண்ணிருக்கோம். So I don't want to stretch it on that. So after this, we'll discuss about your self-induction. Self-induction process. So எப்படி current induce ஆயிட்டு within the conductor when we are changing the flux. So it is a self-induction process. Okay, so self-induction with respect to a solenoid பத்தி நம்ம discuss பண்றோம் and as well as mutual induction process. Self-induction and as well as mutual induction. So after this, in the self-induction or relation, mutual induction or relation. After this, we'll discuss about the inductor in series and parallel. Inductor, series connection, and inductor in parallel connection. So we are not going to derive it. We'll see the final relation. So இதுல self-induction இருக்கும்போது series connection formula எப்படி இருக்கும், mutual எப்படி இருக்கும்போது relation எப்படி இருக்கும், we are going to discuss. ஒரு 2 to 3 relations இருக்கு. So you can do some problems on this case. Sometimes they can ask you. Okay, just an exception case. Okay. So these are your contents. Easiest chapter the ரொம்ப important chapter. When you are thorough with this concept, next chapter alternating currents இருக்கு. 7th chapter. அது ரொம்ப easier. So this is the easiest and important chapter. Please try to understand. And earlier நீங்க வந்து moving charges என்னென்ன டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னா moving charges when the current is entering inside the conductor there is a magnetic field around it. Magnetic field பத்தி தான் நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம் லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸஸ்ல எல்லாம். Now அந்த magnetic field வந்து கண்டினியூஸா சேஞ்ச் பண்ணும்போது again because of the magnetic field current எப்படி இன்டியூஸ் ஆயிருக்கு we are going to discuss that. Okay, in between there is a term called flux. Okay, so we'll study about the flux. You already know about the flux. Flux phi is equal to your EA cos theta ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நீங்க வந்து எலக்ட்ரோஸ்டாட்டிக்ஸ்ல படிச்சிருக்கீங்க. Flux phi is equal to EA cos theta. So same thing in magnetism also, flux phi is equal to your BA cos theta. Okay, so remember this relation. With respect to these relations only we are going to discuss here. Okay, let's see one by one, and these are your contents. So can you tell me what is your right hand thumb rule, if you remember it? If you remember it, right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule பத்தி நான் சொல்லிருக்கேன். Yes ma, Bayard சார்ட்ல பத்தி நான் சொல்லிருக்கேன். Whatever you know, just tell me. Yeah, start.
Thumb indicates current direction.
Yeah, thumb indicates. Thumb indicates motion EMF.
Right hand thumb rule called thumb indicates.
எத்தனை ஹேண்ட் இருக்குமா? ஒரே ஒரு ஹேண்ட் தான் இருக்கு. லெஃப்ட் ஹேண்ட் ரைட் ஹேண்ட் எல்லாம் இல்ல. இது வந்து
yes sir, thumb indicates the current direction.
Yes ma, correct. Next. What about the balance fingers?
Perpendicular to the thumb is magnetic field.
Yes ma, magnetic field. And remember the balance finger indicates your magnetic field directions. Remember நான் திரும்பி சொல்றேன், right hand thumb rule Fleming's left hand rule right hand rule நீங்க வந்து அது கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிக்காதீங்க. right hand thumb rule, thumb and the balance fingers அவ்வளவுதான். right hand thumb rule is for your current and magnetic field, that's it. Fleming's left hand rule, so Fleming's left hand rule we are using for your DC motors. I told you already. DC motors we use பண்றோம், and we have seen the relationship. Moving charges full
force is given only left hand rule is
yes ma, correct ma. So motions பத்தி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது right hand rule டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம்.
AC motor.
Okay, so instead of your force, here we are going to discuss about the force. So here we'll discuss about the motion. Okay, so இதுல வந்து நம்ம force பத்தி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம், இங்க வந்து motion பத்தி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அதுதான் basic difference. So and this relation is your AC generator. This is your AC generator, remember it. Okay, now so let's see one by one. So Bayard சார்ட்ல equation ஒரு தடவை சொல்லுங்க.
dB is equal to
mu naught by 4 pi
ideal sin theta by r square.
Mu naught by 4 pi ideal sin theta by r square. Good. Okay, so what will happen to the sin theta? If theta is equal to 0 degrees, theta is equal to 0 degrees, what will happen to the magnetic field? dB is equal to 0. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, what will happen to the magnetic field dB?
Mu naught by 4 pi ideal by r square.
Ideal by r square. So here magnetic field in the maximum condition, right? Right. So let's see one by one. So we'll see the cases. First, we'll try to understand your Faraday's laws. Okay. So now first, I'll give the statement, then I'll explain what are the contents. Okay. Just take it. So laws of electromagnetic induction. Under the laws of electromagnetic induction, we'll discuss about the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. Okay, so let's see one by one. So here there are two laws on solid. So we'll see the first law. I'll write the first law here, then I'll explain. First law. So in this first law, I'll write here the first law. So whenever the magnetic flux link, whenever the magnetic flux link, magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit, changes, comma, an EMF, okay, is induced in it. An EMF is induced in it. Which lasts, okay, only so long as the as a change in flux, as a change in flux is taking place, So this phenomena is called electromagnetic induction. This phenomenon is called electromagnetic induction. Okay, so remember it. This is your first law. Let's see the second law. Second law, just take it down. So after that, I'll explain. Second law, the magnitude of induced EMF. The magnitude of induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the closed circuit. Okay, remove it. This is your second. So this is your second law. So that means, so the magnitude, and so it is your EMF. I told you already, magnitude and so number modulus to specify control. Magnitude is equal to your d phi by dt. So this is your relation. E is equal to d phi by dt. That means it changes flux. So because of the change in flux, what will happen? EMF is induced here. Okay, take this relation. Then we'll discuss. Or
Sir, over. Sir.
okay, good one. So let's see. We'll try to understand this too. Okay. So now, so first of all, we'll take the experiments. Faraday's experiments. We'll try to understand the experiments. So I'll take the first experiment. Remember, when we are discussing about these experiments, we are going to discuss about the coil here. So in the coil, we call it as inductor. Remember, we have resistor pati discuss pannirkom, capacitor pati discuss pannirkom. Now we are going to discuss about the inductor. Okay, inductor is nothing but a straight conductor. So when you are making this coil, when they are making this conductor in a circular coil, like a solenoid, we call this as inductor. Remember. So now the conductor on the circle loop மாதிரி நான் form பண்ணும்போது making n number of turns like a air solenoid னு சொல்லலாம். மிடில் வந்து கேப் வந்து இண்டக்டர் மாதிரி solenoid தான் இருக்கும். So middle gap வந்து air இருக்கும். So this is your inductor. Inductor is a device actually. Okay. So inductance is the ability. Let's see one time. So for that, what I'll do, I'll take a coil here. So I'll take a coil here. Okay, this is your first experiment. So Faraday's first experiment. Faraday's first experiment. So in this Faraday's first experiment, we are taking about the first case. One case we discuss. There are two cases. Let's see. So to make it understand, so now ஒரு coil எடுத்திருக்கேன். இந்த coilக்கு வந்து நான் ஒரு galvanometer connect பண்ணேன். Assume this is your galvanometer. Galvanometer, you already know galvanometer which detects the flow of current passing through. It will try to detect. அதான் நம்ம வந்து conversions பண்ணிருக்கோம். Galvanometer to voltmeter conversion and galvanometer to ammeter conversion. Remember. So here this is your galvanometer. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll place a magnet closer to this coil. So now the bar magnet, I'm just taking this bar magnet. So the bar magnet I'm placing closer to this coil. So it is your north pole, it is your south pole, and we already know the magnetic field lines are passing from north towards the south like this. So field lines irukku. Okay, so and in the coil also I'm just placing inside the magnetic field. Now remember one more thing. So when we are discussing about the relations in மூவிங் சார்ஜஸ்ல வந்து நம்ம கரண்ட் இருக்கு, கரண்ட்னால வந்து ஃப்ளக்ஸ் ஜென்ரேட் ஆயிருக்கு, அதுல வந்து ரிலேஷன்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். நவ நம்ம வந்து இப்போ ரிவர்ஸ் பண்ண போறோம். ஸோ பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த ஃப்ளக்ஸ் சேஞ்ச் இன் ஃப்ளக்ஸ் கரண்ட் வந்து எப்படி இன்டியூஸ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு அதை தான் நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம், அதோட ரிலேஷன். நான் லெட்ஸ் சி. ஸோ நான் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன், ஐ அம் ஜஸ்ட் பிளேசிங் போத் காயில் ஃபிக்ஸ்டா நான் பிளேஸ் பண்ணிருக்கேன் அண்ட் as well as here bar magnet I am making it fixed. ஸோ காயில் ஃபிக்ஸ் ஆயிருக்கு, பார் மேக்னெட் ஃபிக்ஸ் ஆயிருக்கு. அண்ட் இதோட காயிலோட பார் மேக்னெட்டோட மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் வந்து இட் இஸ் லிங்கிங் டு த காயில். பார் மேக்னெட்டோட மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் வந்து இட் இஸ் லிங்கிங் டு த காயில். ஸோ லிங்க் ஆன உடனே வந்து இஎம்எஃப் இன்டியூஸ் ஆகாது. லிங்க் ஆன உடனே இஎம்எஃப் won't be induced. So there should be a relative motion. Remember, there should be a relative motion between your coil or else your bar magnet. Okay, relative motion between coil and your bar magnet. And your bar magnet. So when there is a continuous change in its flux, continuous change எப்போ வரும், when there is a relative motion between this coil and as well as your bar magnet. When there is a continuous change in its flux, அப்போதான் EMF வந்து induce ஆகும். So EMF induce ஆன உடனே what will happen, the current is flowing through the galvanometer and it will try to detect it. So அதனால என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்னா, so what I'll do, இதுதான், I'll make the coil fixed and I'll try to move the bar magnet to and fro motions. Let's see. So I'll draw the coil. This is your coil. And இதுக்கு வந்து galvanometer இருக்கும். So this is your galvanometer. Okay, what I'll do, I'll take a bar magnet. நான் வந்து ஒரு bar magnet இருக்கு. So this bar magnet, it has its own field around it. So இதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு field இருக்கு. So here if you see that, இதுக்கு வந்து north pole இருக்கும், இதுக்கு வந்து south pole இருக்கு. So this bar magnet is a movable bar magnet. இது வந்து movement இருக்கு. And இங்கே coil வந்து fixed இருக்கு. So now what I'll do, I'll take this bar magnet and I'll try to make it move to and fro motion. When I'm making it to and fro motion, what will happen? The field lines will change. When the bar magnet is closer to the coil, what will happen? Either a field on the greater. When the bar magnet is away from it, what will happen? The field lines will be lesser. So that means with respect to time period, so either a flux linkage on the continuous change. Let's see that. When the bar magnet is closer here, what will happen? The field will be greater. Field on the rumba greater. Same thing when the bar magnet is away from it, what will happen? The field lines will be lesser. Field lines will be lesser. Okay, so there is a continuous change in its flux. So that means we can say that, so flux phi, okay, is directly proportional to the EMF induced within the coil. This is the first law we discuss. When there is a continuous change in flux, that means when there is a continuous change means it is a d phi divided by dt. Continuous change, d phi by dt with respect to time period is directly proportional to your EMF. Remember, this is your first law. Okay, so EMF is directly proportional to your change in flux. So on the change another, what will happen? EMF is induced across this coil. Because of the EMF induced across the coil, what will happen? The current is flowing through the circuit. Current on the continuous flow and it will be detected by your galvanometer. This is the first case. Okay, so and remember one more thing. When we make the relative motion, suppose in the relative motion and the movement of the magnet is ரொம்ப fast, the flow of charges will be greater. So that means the intensity of the current can be increased. So if the relative motion is greater, relative motion is greater, so what will happen? So the flow of charges will be greater. So will be greater. Okay, we can say the current intensity will be increasing. Current intensity will increase. Okay, so remember it now. So this is your relative motion. This is your first case. Let's see the second case. Second case on the other relative motion. But what I'll do, I'll take the coil as movable, and the magnetic field on the bar magnet on the, I'm making it fixed. Okay, so this is your galvanometer, and this is your inductor. Okay, so that is your coil. I'll take the coil, and here what I'll do, I'll take the bar magnet. So this bar magnet, it has its own field around it. It has its own field around it. Okay, so field around it and சொல்லும்போது இது north pole and சொல்றேன், இது south pole and சொல்றேன். So here I'm making this bar magnet as a fixed, and I'm making this coil movable. Okay, remember when we're discussing about that, there should be a relative motion between the coil and as well as the bar magnet. Either one can be moved. Okay, so now when we're doing the coil moving, so what will happen? So here everything will be linked. So whatever the coil it is there, so this coil will be linking. When it is towards it, the magnetic field will be linking greater. When it is away from it, the magnetic field will be lesser. So here, so we are going to move it continuously. When there is a change, continuously change, when there is a continuous change, what will happen? The EMF is induced within the conductor. There is a continuous change. Okay. So here, when there is a continuous change, okay, the EMF is induced here. So the EMF is induced across this conductor. Okay. So across this coil, when the EMF is induced, what will happen? The current will be passing through. Okay, and the galvanometer will try to deflect. So again, we can say that relation EMF is induced within the conductor when there is a change in its flux. When there is a change in its flux. Remember this relation. Okay. இங்க வந்து நம்ம டைரக்ஷன் பத்தி நான் எதுவுமே பேசல. கரண்ட் ஃப்ளோ ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, galvanometer வந்து டிஃப்ளெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கு. This is a Faraday's experiment. இது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட். ஓகே. சிங்கிள் காயில் பத்தி நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட். இதுல வந்து 2 கேசஸ் நம்ம பார்த்திருக்கோம். ஒன் வந்து காயில் வந்து ஃபிக்ஸ் ஆயிருக்கு, செகண்ட் வந்து காயில் வந்து மூவ் ஆயிருக்கு. ஜஸ்ட் ரிமெம்பர், இது வந்து நீங்க memorize பண்ணிக்கோங்க. I'll share you the screenshot. Remember only one thing, when there is a change in flux with respect to time period, okay, so the EMF is induced within the coil. So and there should be a relative motion between the coil. Remember. Okay. Now let's see the second experiment. Anyway, I'll share you the screenshots on that. So let's see the second experiment. Second experiment, we are going to discuss about the two coils. ரெண்டு coils நம்ம வந்து discuss பண்றோம். Okay. So let's see that. So here what I'll do, I'll take two coils, and before that I'll take a conductor. I'll take a small conductor. Okay. So for this conductor, I'm making winding. So assume this is your primary winding. Okay, ஒரு காயில் வந்து நான் லூப் கொடுக்குறேன். So this is your primary winding. So இதுல அந்த நம்பர் ஆஃப் டர்ன்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் நான் எதுவுமே டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணல. ஸோ ஒரு கண்டக்டர் இருக்கு, ஒரு சிங்கிள் கண்டக்டர் இருக்கு. ஸோ ஐம் ஜஸ்ட் மேக்கிங் வைண்டிங். திஸ் இஸ் your primary coil, and இந்த பிரைமரிக்கு வந்து ஐம் கனெக்டிங் a voltage to it. நான் வந்து ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் வந்து அப்ளை பண்றேன். ஆல்வேஸ் ரிமெம்பர், நான் இது வரைக்கும் ஏசி சப்ளை பத்தி நம்ம பேசவே இல்லை. ரிமெம்பர் இட். வாட் எவர் த சப்ளை வி ஆர் டிஸ்கசிங் ஹியர், திஸ் இஸ் your DC சப்ளை. ஓகே, EMF ன்னு சொல்லும்போது இட் இஸ் your DC. ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் சாப்டர்ல தான் ஆல்டர்னேட்டிங் சப்ளை வரும், ஏசி சப்ளை வரும். அதோட டிஃபரன்ஸ் வரும், ஏசிக்கு டிசிக்கு என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ், வை வி ஆர் யூசிங் ஏசி, அண்ட் வாட் ஆர் த அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ், வாட் ஆர் த ரிலேஷன்ஸ், எவ்ரிதிங் வில் டிஸ்கஸ் தேர். Present till this EMI, we'll only discuss about your DC part. So when there is an EMF, it is your DC. Remember. Okay. So now this is your primary coil, and I'm connecting a voltage to it. So voltage இருக்கு, current flow ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. When the current is flowing through this, you know that solenoid நம்ம வந்து ampere circuit லால discuss பண்ணிருக்கோம். So right hand thumb rule will be reversed when the current is flowing through the coil. Coil இருக்கும்போது right hand thumb rule வந்து reverse ஆயிடும். So suppose when the current is moving, that is current is moving downward direction, in the direction of the current flow ஆயிடும். When the current is moving downward direction, in the direction இருக்கு, this indicates your balance fingers. Okay, that moment the thumb indicates your magnetic field direction. Thumb indicates your magnetic field direction. So conductor க்கு coil க்கு right hand வந்து reverse ஆயிடும். Remember. Okay, don't miss it out. So இது வந்து relations directions ரொம்ப important. So magnetic field வந்து இது in the coil through in the conductor through it will try to pass. So the magnetic field is linking to the conductor. So what I'll do for that, so I'll take one more coil. So இன்னொரு coil நான் எடுத்துக்கிறேன். So assuming this coil is your secondary coil. Assuming this coil is your secondary coil. Okay. So this secondary coil, what I'll do, I'll connect a galvanometer. I'll connect a galvanometer. Okay. So நல்லா பார்த்துக்கோங்க. Let's see, when the current is flowing through the conductor, there is a continuous motion in this coil. எப்படின்னா current வந்து continuous flow ஆயிட்டே இருக்கு. When the current is continuous flowing, there should be a relative motion சொல்லிருக்கேன். Here the relative motion is nothing but your flow of charges continuously. Okay, so we know that relation I is equal to continuous change of charges with respect to your time period. I is equal to dq by dt. Okay, so when there is a continuous change, what will happen? There is a flux induced within the coil. There is a flux. So because of the magnetic field lines passing, so in the magnetic field lines, it will be linking to the secondary coil. What are the magnetic field lines are induced from the primary coil? It is linking to the secondary coil through this conductor. Okay, now so here what will happen? Because of the flux linking from the primary towards the secondary, what I'll do, I'll take so phi 2 with respect to 1. I'll take the relation as phi 2 with respect to flux is induced to the secondary with respect to the primary. I'll take this one as secondary. Okay, so now the flux link ஆயிட்டு. So we know that flux is continuously changing with respect to change in current in the primary. Okay, when it is continuously changing, what will happen? The EMF is induced within the coil. When the EMF is induced within the coil, what will happen? The current will be flowing through it. So current flow ஆயிட்டு, what will happen? The galvanometer will try to deflect. Okay, so இங்க வந்து நான் bar magnet move பண்றேன், இல்ல வந்து coil move பண்றேன், அந்த மாதிரி ஒண்ணுமே இல்லை. So because of the continuous flow in current, so the linkage of flux from one coil to the other coil will be happening. The same principle will be there for your transformer. It will be there for your transformer also. So that means if you see the relation, so here the EMF is directly proportional to your d phi by dt. Remember, EMF is directly proportional to d phi by dt. It is your magnitude. So till now, I didn't say about any direction here. Okay. So only there are magnitude EMF from the induce agum, flux from the linkage agum, other number basic. Remember it. So these are the two experiments which you are going to study in your first. So these are the relations. And this is in the relation ரொம்ப important. D is directly proportional to d phi by dt. And now we'll see the first one. So whenever the magnetic flux linked with the closed circuit changes an EMF in the induced with it, which lasts only as long as the change in flux is taking place. That means I told you already, when there is a change in flux, upon the EMF from the induced. What are the circuits you have seen? Those are your closed circuits. This process we call it as electromagnetic induction. Remember, this is your electromagnetic. And whatever the relations we have discussed, so other magnitude, other value pathida number discuss pannirkom. So that is EMF is directly proportional to d phi by dt. So this is your magnitude. And either a direction on the identify pandradha lens. So till this either doubt in you can ask. Any doubt so far?
No, sir.
Okay. So right now. So let's see your lens law. Let's see your lens law. Lens law varumbodhu adora statement adora relation slightly will change. Okay, let's see. So I'll give the statement first. Let's see lens law. Next one, lens law. I'll give the statement first, then we'll discuss. Okay, so this law states that the direction of induced current, is such that it opposes the cause which produces it. That is opposes the change in magnetic field. Opposes the change in magnetic field. Okay, please take it. Any doubt, ma'am?
Over, sir.
Over, sir.
Good.
Sir, and the
Yes, ma'am.
Faraday's law experiment சும்மா தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது சார் ரிலேஷன்
இது
இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்.
ஜஸ்ட் ப்ராசஸ் மட்டும் தான். இது வந்து உங்களுக்கு क्वेश्चंस எப்படி நான் ஆல்ரெடி சொல்லிட்டேன். இது வந்து நீ தியரியா உங்களுக்கு क्वेश्चंस வராது. You are not going to explain it. You are not going to write the descriptive test. Okay. So நான் வந்து உங்களுக்கு டெஃபினிஷனை வந்து I'm going to split it. I'm going to explain in a conceptual way. Okay. நீங்க வந்து இது மெமரைஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. So depends upon the concepts, depends upon the questions. இந்த லாஜிக்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம அங்க யூஸ் பண்ணணும். அவ்வளவுதான். புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? So நீங்க வந்து இது மெமரைஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. அந்த இந்த வீடியோ அதனால தான் வந்து I am just making this video. So just go through it, just watch it, try to understand the concept, how it will be and what are the directions, what are the relations. Descriptive மாதிரி வந்து உட்கார்ந்து கண்டினியூஸா படிச்சுட்டே இருப்பாங்க. Okay, so you won't get descriptive questions. You will get only the conceptual questions. அதே பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வரும். இது வந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் அது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா ஒரு தியரி கான்செப்ட் மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். உங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த கான்செப்ட் புரிஞ்சாதான் you can able to write the problems, do the problems. Okay. அண்ட் ஒரே ஒரு ஃபார்முலா பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இருக்கும். அண்ட் உங்களுக்கு கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து டைரக்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வராது, இன்டைரக்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ். நான் ஆல்ரெடி சொல்லிட்டேன், கேலோமீட்டர் டு வோல்ட் மீட்டர், நம்ம கேலோமீட்டர் டு அம்மீட்டர் பண்ணும்போது ரிலேஷன் ஒன்று தான். பட் அங்கிருந்து எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ஷன் பண்ணி தான் நம்ம ரிலேஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ரைட்? ஸோ சேம் திங் தான் நம்ம இங்கே எந்த டெரிவேஷன் பண்ணாலும் அதை வந்து கேசஸ் பற்றி தான் நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுறோம். இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது எப்படி இருக்கும், இப்படி இருக்கும்போது எப்படி இருக்கும். ஸோ தோஸ் ஆர் த கேசஸ். புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? ஸோ ஜஸ்ட் ரீட் இட், யூ கேன் கோ த்ரூ இட். Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Okay, ma'am? I'll share you the details and no issues. Right, let's see, we'll try to understand your lens law now. So lens law enna sollirukona, so lens law it states that the direction of the induced current is such that it opposes the cause which produces it. இது வந்து இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட்னால ஃப்ளக்ஸ் இன்டியூஸ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, அந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட்னால ஃப்ளக்ஸ் இன்டியூஸ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு வித் இன் த காயில், அந்த காயில கரண்ட் ஃப்ளோ தான் இட் வில் அப்போஸ் த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட். அகைன் வந்து அதே வந்து அதோட சோர்ஸ்னே அப்போஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. இட்ஸ் நத்திங் பட் யுவர் லென்ஸ் லா. இதே ரிலேஷன் நீங்க வந்து இஃப் யூ ரிமெம்பர் இட், நான் வந்து கிளாக் ரூல்ல நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். Moving charges, so we have discussed in your clock rule, if you remember it. Right, clock rule வந்து I told you I had taken a clockwise direction on the magnetic field எப்படி இருக்கும், field எப்படி இருக்கும், north pole or south pole. So anti clockwise direction ல இருக்கும்போது field எப்படி இருக்கும். These are the cases. So we'll try to detailedly we'll try to move it. Let's see that. So இங்க வந்து நல்லா பாத்துக்கோ, here there is a relative motion again with the coil and as well as a bar magnet. இதுல வந்து ரெண்டு cases இருக்கு. Let's see the first case. Let's see the first case. First case வந்து ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரெச் பண்ணதுன்னா அந்த டைரக்ஷன் மட்டும் மெமரைஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. So direction of induced current, direction of induced current when a magnet moves towards a cell. When a magnet moves towards the cell answala, or else I'll take it as coil, towards a coil. Let's see. So here what I'll do, I'll take a coil, a circular coil na eduthukken. Assume this is a circular coil. So in the circular coil what I'll do, I'll connect a galvanometer. So idhula vandu current flow aayittu iruka illaya, I need to check it. So here what I'll do, I'll connect a galvanometer. So like this, I'm just connecting a galvanometer here. So this is a circular coil. It is a closed loop also. Okay. So it is a simple circuit. Idhula vandu current edume flow agala. So what I'll do, so I'll make a bar magnet close to it. Or bar magnet, I'm just taking a bar magnet, I'm making closer to it. So closer to it, na simpler na place pandren. Remember, when I'm simply placing, what will happen? So there is no EMF induced within the conductor. Current of flow directions edume irukadu. So because there is no relative motion between these two. So what I told you, there should be relative motion. So the relative motion eppadi irukuna. So what I'll do, I'm assuming this bar magnet's north pole here. This is your north pole and this is your south pole. So what I'll do, I'll do the relative motion. Relative motion and what I'll do, I'll move this bar magnet towards your left side direction. So in the coil towards your left side direction, with respect to axis, I'll take it move. Okay, now this is slower step by step move with respect to the axis. Direction. This is your velocity direction. Okay. Now on the move pannumbodhu, remember when the bar magnet is moving towards it, so that means there is a magnetic field is changing continuously with respect to your time period. When there is a continuous change, what will happen? So inge on the current on the induced side. So current induce ஆகுற reason என்னன்னா, so because of the change in its flux. Okay, changes flux on the change ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, EMF induce ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, and current flow ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. Current direction எப்படி இருக்குன்னா, when it is moving towards it, so the coil current flows in anti-clockwise direction. இதுதான் நான் clock rule நான் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லிருக்கேன். Anti-clockwise direction, and that moment when it is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, what will happen? It will act as your north pole. It will act as your north pole. So when it is north pole, remember, lens direction it will try to oppose its own source. In the source இதோட magnetic field இந்த coilக்கு link ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. Remember, in the magnetic field இந்த coilக்கு link ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. When the magnetic field is linking to this coil, so என்ன ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, current induce ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. But அந்த current induce பண்ணதுனால it acts as your north pole again, and the source ne oppose பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. So we know that north pole it will try to repel. So இது வந்து north pole ஆனதுனால again இந்த source ne repel பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. That is your opposing the magnetic field. So this is nothing but your lens law. Opposes the magnetic field. Or we can say opposes the source itself. Source ne oppose பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. Okay, source ne oppose பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. And remember, when the bar magnet is towards the coil, so that moment the current is in anti-clockwise direction. Suppose இது north pole இருந்தா, it will be act as your north pole and it will try to oppose it, repel பண்ணும். Same thing in the first case. Let's see the second case. Second case என்னன்னா, when the bar magnet is away from it. Okay, so same, I'll take a coil here and I'll take a galvanometer. Same thing, அதே மாதிரி. So here I'll add a galvanometer at the end like this. So this is your galvanometer, and now the bar magnet. So in the bar magnet, I'll make it to move away from it. So earlier on the towards it, now I'll make it to move away from it. When it is making to move away from it, it is in the north pole, it is in the south pole with respect to axis. So this is your axis, and the bar magnet is moving away from it in this direction. When it is moving away from it, what will happen? The current on the reverse side, continuous change. So towards the maximum field. When it is away from it, the field on the decrease side. So the current will act in your clockwise direction. Here, this is your anti-clockwise, and here it will be your clockwise. Here it will be your clockwise. So when it acts as your clockwise, current on the change direction, what will happen? Either a magnetic field on the change. That moment, what will happen? It will try to attract. So it acts as your south pole. It acts as your south pole. Remember it. So that moment it will try to attract. So this relation, it is your second. So we call it as a direction of induced current when the magnet away from the coil. Magnet away from coil. Away from coil. Okay, remember it. So in the statement, you note panting, just remember it. Directions based on discuss pannabodu. When we are discussing about the clockwise current direction, so it acts as your south pole. And when we are discussing about the anti-clockwise current direction, it acts as your north pole. So directions discuss pannabodu, just try to understand. It is your Lenz's law. Magnetic path discuss pannabodu, remember it is your Faraday's law. Okay, so this is your relation. Any doubt? Please ask. Orma, any doubt?
No, sir. Over, sir.
Okay, good one. So let's see next. Either are relations பத்தி நம்ம discuss பண்ணோம். So earlier வந்து நம்ம EMF relation பார்த்திருக்கோம். So EMF E is directly proportional to your d phi by dt ன்னு சொல்லிருக்கோம். So it is your Faraday's law. Now we are going to include your Lenz's law in this relation. So by taking your Lenz's law, so Lenz's law is nothing but your direction of induced EMF. So Faraday's law relation என்னன்னா EMF E is equal, because it is opposing nala, I'll take EMF E is equal to minus d phi by dt, negative minus d phi by dt by taking your Lenz's law. So by taking your Lenz's law into account, okay. So இது வந்து oppose பண்றதுனால we'll taking negative. EMF E is equal to minus d phi by dt. Suppose இந்த coil ல வந்து, remember இந்த coil ல வந்து number of turns இருக்கு. So n indicate number of turns. Number of turns இருக்கு. அப்போ EMF relation என்னாகும்? EMF E is equal to minus n into d phi by dt. E is equal to minus n into d phi by dt. Remember it. So அதே வந்து when there is a change in its flux வந்து suppose if there are two fluxes are there. So with respect to time period, suppose flux 1 and yes, mark good. So in time t. So upper relation of EMF E is equal to minus n into this is a phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by your time period. Remember, if there are two fluxes. Okay, so these are your relation. And what is the unit for flux? Flux unit. And whatever we are discussing here, this is your magnetic flux. Remember it. What is the unit for flux? Last class one, okay.
TM.
EM na?
TM is Tesla meter.
Tesla meter. Tesla meter. அப்புறம் So remember, it is your Weber.
Weber meter.
Weber meter.
Weber, அவ்வளவுதான். WB, Weber. Magnetic field relation தான் phi divided by A. I told you relation. Flux phi is equal to B into A. Okay, இதோட ரிலேஷன் தான் வெபர் per meter square. இதுதான் வந்து we call it as Tesla. இன்னொரு ரிலேஷன் சொல்லியிருக்கேன். So flux phi is equal to Tesla area on the meter square. Tesla meter square. Remember, this is nothing but your Weber. Okay, the symbol is WB. Remember. Can you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, nice. Some network issues.
Sir, screen தெரியலையா?
Yeah, now it's better because another power of training actually. So yeah. So next. So far, any doubts?
No, sir.
Good one. So let's see next one. So next one on the ரொம்ப important concepts. So here I told you, right, there are three methods are there to induce EMF. First of all, I'm on the formulas or the part. So I'll give the formulas also. What are the relations we have seen? Are the best money relations formulas. So first of all, we have discussed about the flux. So flux phi is equal to, I told you already, the relation is flux phi is equal to BA cos theta. BA cos theta, and it is a scalar quantity, so it is a B vector dot A vector. Second case law on the, we'll discuss about the induced EMF. EMF is equal to minus n into, it is a d5 by dt, minus n into d5 by dt. And a third case on the average induced EMF, EMF is equal to minus n into, it is a phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by your time period t. Phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by your time period t. Okay, and the fourth one, current induced. So current induced, and remember current induced, we are going to take the magnitude of EMF. So modulus of E divided by your resistor R. Okay, these are your relations.
More, sir.
Okay, good one. So let's see next relation. So next one, we call it as your magnetic field, change in magnetic field. That is your change in magnetic field Faraday's law. Now we are going to discuss about the change in area. So here, this is your second method to induce the EMF. So we call it as a change in area. Change in area, or we can say motional EMF. Motional EMF. Motional EMF from Faraday's laws. We are going to derive it from Faraday's laws. ரொம்ப important relation. Okay, so let's see one by one. So in this Faraday's laws. Okay, so you already know about the Faraday's law, the direction பத்தி தெரியும், flux தெரியும், and lens law தெரியும், எல்லாமே okay. So now, so what I'll do, I'll take some magnetic field lines. So you already have magnetic field lines சொல்லும்போது ஒன்னு dot, ஒன்னு cross னு சொல்லிட்டு identify பண்றோம். So there are some magnetic field lines. These are injecting inside the plane like this. That means magnetic field lines are entering here. Okay, so now the magnetic field lines are entering. When the magnetic field lines are entering, so இதுல வந்து நான் என்ன பண்றேன்னா, I'm just placing a conductor. ஒரு rectangular shaped conductor I'm just placing. Rectangular shaped conductor like this within the magnetic field alone. So this is your rectangular shape C-shaped conductor. Now in the மாதிரி place பண்ணு. Now let's see இதோட dimensions பார்க்கலாம். So I'll take this width as length L. So width வந்து I'll take it as L. Okay, and இதோட length வந்து I'll take it as X. The length on the I'll take this. Remember, it is your open circuit. Okay, it's a closed circuit, open circuit in a C shape. I'm just placing inside the magnetic field. These are your magnetic field lengths. Direction sector is the B vector. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll place a conductor. A conductor on place on the top of the C shaped conductor for a mobile joint one. I'm just placing a mobile joint here. Okay, or conductor now place either a conductor on the I'll give some names as P, Q. Okay, and total it is like a closed loop. Nala. I'll take this one as R and S. So now we got the closed loop inside the magnetic field. Now remember, there should be a relative motion also. So without any relative motion, what will happen? There is a current induced within the conductor. Current EMF current. Now let's see the relations one by one. So here in this case, what I'll do, I'll try to make the conductor movable arm. This PQ is your movable arm. Movable arm. So I told you already, the magnetic field will try to change. It has to change. When there is a continuous change, the EMF on the induced agum. So or else what I'll do? So I'll take this conductor, movable arm. Now on the inner part, I'll try to move it. So when I'm trying to move it from one point to other point, so when I'm trying to move it, so in the magnetic field lines, it will try to cut in on the perpendicular. The magnetic field lines will be cutting. When the magnetic field lines are cutting continuously, the move continuously and change. That means there is a velocity here. So now on the continuous move it has its own velocity. So there is a velocity of the conductor. This is your velocity of the conductor. When there is a motion, now remember that. So when there is a motion, remember when there is a motion, okay. So motion understand it. There is a motion and there is a magnetic field. There is a motion, there is a magnetic field, and now we need to understand the direction of current. So I told you already from the Fleming's left hand and right hand rule. So when there is a force, we have to discuss as your Fleming's left hand rule. When you're discussing about the motion, we have to use your Fleming's right hand rule. So by applying your Fleming's right hand rule, remember thumb rule use pannakoodadhu. So Fleming's right hand rule, I told you about your motion. Okay. So now there is a motion. That motion is towards your left side. That is your velocity here. Velocity in the direction irukku. And I'll take a point. Or point based on discuss. Assume this is your point. For a chinna example. So there are velocity in the direction. Magnetic field lines on the enter right. Just keep your fingers like that. So magnetic field lines are entering inside. And the thumb indicates your motion. So this is your forefinger. Okay. And this is your thumb. That is your motion. Upon the middle finger shows your current direction. So middle finger shows your current direction, which is downward direction. Remember, this is your current direction. So from the Fleming's right hand rule, the current passing through this conductor will be downwards, making a closed loop. So current direction in the direction, and it is returning back. So like this, this is your current direction. This is your current direction. So that means EMF on the induced side. That means continuous change. EMF induced side. EMF induced side. The EMF will be induced within the movable arm. That movable arm is nothing but your PQ. So this is your movable arm. This is the EMF on the induced. So because of the EMF induced, current on the pass side through the closed circuit. Remember this relation. So that means continuous change in flux. E is directly proportional to your d phi by dt. And because of the continuous change in flux, current on the induced side. Okay, and remember one more thing. In the movable arm, I continuous change in the x, there are distance on the decrease one time and increase one time. There is a continuous change in its length. The length on the continuous changes. Length changes continuously. So let's see the relations. From the Faraday's laws, we are going to extract the EMF induced within the conductor. Let's see the relations here. So we know the flux and cos phi angle theta சொல்லும்போது magnetic fields motion எல்லாமே perpendicular இருக்கு. All are perpendicular to each other. Let's see the relations here one by one. So here in this case, so we know the flux phi is equal to your BA cos theta. Flux phi is equal to your BA cos theta. So theta is between your magnetic field and your area of the conductor. ரெண்டுமே perpendicular இருக்கனால theta is equal to your 90 degrees, 0 degrees. Okay, so here theta 0 degrees and சொல்லும்போது the flux will be 1. So now on the plane layer, on the plane and சொல்லும்போது magnetic fields are entering here. Okay, now so flux phi, this is your magnetic flux which is equal to B into your area. So now in this case, area of the conductor and சொல்லும்போது we know that it is a rectangular portion. So area is equal to your length into your displacement, that is your x, width and its length, L into x. I'm going to substitute. So flux phi is equal to B into L into x. This is a flux. Now what I'll do, there is a direction here. இங்க வந்து oppose பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. Now we have to consider the Lenz law. Lenz law வந்து நான் மிஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. So from the Faraday's laws and as well as the direction of Lenz law, so EMF E is equal to minus d phi by dt. இங்க வந்து number of turns ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, ஒரே ஒரு கண்டக்டர் தான், இது continuous change ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. N is equal to 1 minus d by dt of flux. So flux என்னது, it is nothing but your B into L into x, which is equal to, so minus magnetic field வந்து change ஆயிட்டே இருக்கு continuous, magnetic field constant இருக்கு, sorry magnetic field வந்து constant இருக்கு, இது change ஆகல. Length of the conductor in the side it is constant, only change ஆகுறது dx by dt மட்டும் தான் change ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஏன்னா வந்து displacement வந்து continuous change ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, increase ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு and as well as decrease ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. I'll take the relation as minus, that is your dx by dt is equal to, dx by dt is equal to, I'll take this one as minus v, dx by dt is equal to, I'll take this minus v. So velocity is decreasing, so by changing its direction of x, remember, so velocity on the change by changing the direction, decrease on the direction of x. Okay, velocity on the in the direction x value decrease, velocity away from it x value increase, continuous change and it will try to oppose. So for that we are taking it as minus. So the relation E is equal to, it is a minus of minus plus BLV. So EMF E is equal to BLV. This is your relation, remember it. So the EMF induced due to the motion of a conductor in the magnetic field, this is your relation. Is that doubt in the case? It's important. Please take.
Sir, over, sir. Sir, in the
Yes, ma'am.
minus BL into dx by dt, the sir, dx input.
Minus V into
BL dx by dt.
dx by dt.
அதுக்கு மேல ஸ்டெப்
பண்ணிட்டேனா இந்தியா sorry, yes, correct. Thank you. This dx by dt, yes, ma'am. So or ma, right, ma'am. So let's see, இதே relation வந்து E is equal to BLV, we are going to extract from your Lenz law. Same case தான், same structure, எல்லாமே same தான். So here Lenz law base பண்ணி we are going to extract. இங்க பார்க்கும்போது, so when the current is flowing through the conductor, நல்லா பார்த்துக்கோங்க, there is a force acting on it. Magnetic force னு சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம ரிலேட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஏன்னா வந்து நம்ம ஒரு சார்ஜஸ் பத்தி பேசும்போது we know the relation F is equal to QVV sin theta. நான் அப்ப இருக்கு இந்த ரிலேஷன். So நம்ம வந்து magnetic force relation சொல்லிருக்கோம். Okay, and same thing we know that when the current is flowing through it, there will be electric field around it and சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். So there is a force acting on it, F is equal to QE and சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். நம்ம இருக்கு.
Yes.
So that means in the conductor load, they'll be having some free electrons moving it. So when the free electrons are moving through it, what will happen? Magnetic field on the actor on the conductor load. So when there is a current, one and again free electrons move பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா there will be a electric field experience. அங்கே வந்து ஒரு force act ஆயிட்டு that force is your electric field. So from the Lenz law, we are going to extract this E is equal to BLB again. Let's see. இது வந்து நீங்க assume this is your second case நான் சொல்லலாம். First case வந்து from your Faraday's laws. Second case, motional EMF from your Lorentz force. Motional EMF from Lorentz force. Remember. So let's see the relations here. So in this case, so what I'll do, I told you that there are two forces are acting. One is your magnetic force. So it is the force will be acting on the charges. F is equal to QVB, and one is your electric force. Fe is equal to your Q into E. So ரெண்டு forces same ஆ இருக்கும்போது என்ன ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு இங்க வந்து EMF வந்து induce ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு and there will be a balanced forces between these two. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'm going to equate these two. When I do equating, so Fm is equal to your Fe, so it means QVB is equal to your Q into E. So Q will get cancelled, so electric field E is equal to VB. So here V is velocity, B is your magnetic field. I'll take this one as first relation. And earlier from the electrostatic itself, we know that electric field E is equal to V by L and சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். நான் பேருக்கு இந்த V வந்து it is your potential difference or voltage. Okay, and அதோட length base பண்ணி நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றோம். So அதோட length of the conductor and there is a potential difference between these two. We call it as your electric field. E is equal to V by L. Now வந்து இது equate பண்ணு. So in this case, so I'm going to substitute here. So V is equal to your electric field E into your length. So L into your electric field. So now I will substitute பண்றேன். So it is your B L V. So this V is your voltage, or we can say your EMF. This V is your velocity. Remember it. So I'll take the relation as it is EMF. So EMF E is equal to this is a BLV. Remember. So from the Lenz law, we have theorem. This is your motion EMF. You know, the motion EMF on the conductor that is continuous motion moving, and there is an EMF induced within the conductor. So because of the motion. So let's see this case now. So we can see the relation in terms of your current and forces. Let's see. So I'm going to find the current. So current I is equal to your EMF divided by the R, which is equal to EMF E is nothing but your BLV divided by your R. Okay, this is a current. I'll take this one as second relation. This is the first relation. Now we are going to discuss about the force acting on the mobile arm. So let's see, force acting on the mobile arm. Force acting on mobile arm. So that means in the mobile arm force act ஆயிருக்கு. Let's see that. இதே relation we have derived it in your moving charges. F is equal to your BIL sin theta ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். Where theta is equal to 90 degrees because it is your maximum force. So F is equal to DI into L. So here we know the current. I'm going to substitute the current here. So B into L into it is a BLB divided by R. So the relation is it is a B square L square B by R. This is a force acting on the mobile arm. Remember it. I'll take this one as your third equation. So this is your force act. This is the third equation. Let's see next one. Force effect. So now we are going to discuss about the power delivered by the external forces. Because of the external forces na adha continuous move பண்ணும்போது தானே ஒரு power வந்து டெலிவர் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு அந்த கண்டக்டர்ல current flow ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு EMF generate ஆயிட்டு. So we know that இங்க வந்து ரெண்டு type of forces இருக்கு. One power, mechanical power, that is due to external forces. External force na நான் ஒரு force apply பண்றேன் அப்பதான் வந்து velocity gain ஆயிட்டு. So power P is equal to force into velocity. So force relation it is a B square L square V by R into V. So VV it will be V square. So this is your power related to your external forces on the conductor. Same thing. So in this case, there is one more thing. Your power delivered due to the loss. You know, the current continuous flow பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா it will get heated up. அந்த heat ஆகும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா so heat ஆனா என்ன ஆகும்னா so there will be a current flowing through this. Okay, heat ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு and there will be losses. So the losses வந்து we call it as joules. So we already seen it in your current electricity. So that relation we'll see. So power delivered, power dissipated as joules. Dissipated as joules. So let's see. So power formula on the power P is equal to your I square into R. I formula in a already theorem, it is a B square L square V square divided by R square into R. R will get cancelled. So the relation is it is B square L square V square by R. So power dissipated, mechanical power generated, எல்லாமே same. So remember this relation, please take it. The relations are important. Take it.
Sir, the second relation, the E is equal to V by R. Under relation equate பண்றோம்ல sir.
எதுமா second relation?
V by R ன்னு மேல போட்டுருக்கு. அது
E is equal
L
to
R.
V by L. இது V by L மா. V வந்து potential difference voltage divided by length. நம்ம வந்து electrostaticsல டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம்ல, அந்த ரிலேஷன் தான் நான் இதுல எடுத்திருக்கேன். புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு?
Okay.
Sir, sir.
Okay, right. So ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்குமா ராகுல்? Okay, right. So let's see next. Okay, so next one. There is one more thing. ஒரு சின்ன டெரிவேஷன் இருக்கு. அண்ட் நம்ம வந்து இது வரைக்கும் ஒரு கண்டக்டர், ஒரு லென்த், ஸ்ட்ரைட் லைன் மட்டும் தான் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். சப்போஸ் இஃப் இட் இஸ் சர்க்குலர் இருக்கும்போது என்ன இருக்கு பார்க்கலாம். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த இஎம்எஃப் இன்டியூசர்? ஸோ கேசஸ் வந்து உங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணாலும் கேட்கலாம். ஸோ ஸ்ட்ரைட் லைன் கேட்கலாம், இல்ல சர்க்குலர் கேட்கலாம். டிபெண்ட்ஸ் அப்பான் தட் யூ ஹேவ் டு பி ரெடி அண்ட் யூ ஹேவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் த ரிலேஷன். லெட்ஸ் see the relations. நான் கொஸ்டின் வந்து நான் இங்க டைப் பண்றேன், then I'll explain. So the question is like this. The question is a metallic rod of length L is rotated at an angular speed, okay, omega, I'll take a small w, omega, normal to a uniform magnetic field, capital V, uniform magnetic field, capital V. So derive expression for EMF and current, EMF, current and your heat dissipated, that is your power. Okay, so a metallic rod of length L is rotated at an angular speed and சொல்லும்போது the symbol is omega. So the symbol is omega. Let's see, this is your omega. Okay, so normal to the uniform magnetic field. Normal perpendicular to the uniform magnetic field. So So derive the relation or the expression for EMF, current, and the power. Let's see. So for that, what I'll do, I'll take a magnetic field. Magnetic field lines I enter pandren. So that is nothing but your cross. So these are your magnetic field lines which are entering inside. The magnetic field lines are entering here. ரிமெம்பர் நம்ம வந்து இப்போ கேசஸ் எல்லாம் பார்க்கறது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா உங்களுக்கு எல்லா கான்செப்சுவல் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல வந்து we are going to discuss the problems and நாளைக்கே வந்து சாப்டர் கம்ப்ளீட் ஆயிடும் ரொம்ப ஈஸியஸ்ட் சாப்டர் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் டாபிக் இது ஓகே so I'll share you the materials whatever the doubts are there you can discuss so here in this magnetic field lines நான் என்ன பண்றேன்னா I'll placing a rectangle I'm placing a conductor a straight line conductor நான் place பண்றேன் let's see the red color portion assume this is your conductor thick conductor so assume this is your conductor okay in the conductor இதோட length வந்து I'll take it as L length of the conductor is L okay so now what I'll do I'll apply some speed on this conductor இதுல வந்து I'm just making fixed at the centerல வந்து நான் fix பண்ணிட்டேன் so when I make it to rotate rotation base பண்ணி பாக்கும்போது so what will happen it will gain some angular speed இங்க வந்து act ஆகும் so because of the angular speed what will happen in the conductor it will try to move in a circular format like this it will try to move in a circular format circular rotate ஆகும் so with some velocity that is your angular velocity omega ஒரு angular velocity வந்து இந்த conductor move ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு making center fixed point so when it is moving in magnetic field lines எல்லாமே கட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு when the magnetic field lines are cutted what will happen the EMF is induced within the conductor because of the EMF induced within the conductor what will happen the current will be passing through the conductor as usual நம்ம வந்து முன்னாடி linearல பார்த்தோம் இப்போ வந்து நம்ம circularல பார்க்கணும் அதுதான் relation okay remember so here when we are discussing about that இங்க வந்து நம்ம time period பத்தி நம்ம பேச மாட்டோம் we'll discuss with respect to your frequency பத்தி நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றோம் so we know the relation time period t is equal to 1 by f இதுல வந்து நம்பர் ஆஃப் டன்ஸ் பத்தி நம்ம பேசல சோ அதே கேசஸ் வந்து நீங்க ஸ்போக்ஸ் இல்ல வந்து ஒரு வீல் பத்தி நீங்க டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணலாம் அதுல வந்து கண்டினியூஸா ரொட்டேஷன் இருக்கும்போது மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் லைன்ஸ் கட் பண்ணும்போது EMF வந்து கண்டினியூஸா இன்டியூஸ் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும் let's see the relationship so we know the flux phi so we have to start with your flux depends upon the shape the area changes so flux phi is equal to b into area and the magnetic field area ன்னு சொல்லும்போது both are angle theta is equal to 0 degrees ஏன்னா சேம் பிளேன்ல தான் இருக்கு so here in this case area of the circle is radius தெரியும் அந்த radius is nothing but your conductor length so area of the circular loop is your pi L square I'll take it as pi L square area எனக்கு தெரியும் I'm going to find the flux so flux phi is equal to b into pi into L square this is your flux now we are going to find the induced EMF in the conductor so EMF is equal to your change in flux with respect to your time period so இங்க வந்து நம்ம time period பத்தி நம்ம பேச மாட்டோம் so we'll discuss in terms of your frequency so 1 by time period is equal to frequency so change in flux is nothing but your b pi L square into f is your EMF induced within the conductor I'll take this one as first relation remember it so here frequency and சொல்லும்போது remember I told you frequency na continuous revolutions என்ன ஆயிட்டு அந்த revolutions பத்தி நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றோம் so there is a small relation here so frequency பத்தி நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது so omega is equal to 2 pi by t இது ஆல்ரெடி நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணதா omega is equal to 2 pi by t and t 1 by t is nothing but a frequency I can rewrite the relation as 2 pi f omega is your angular speed okay or angular velocity ன்னு சொல்றோம் frequency in terms of your hertz அதோட unit so from this relation frequency இருக்குதுங்களா I'll write the relation in terms of your omega so frequency f is equal to your omega divided by 2 pi remember this relation f is equal to omega divided by 2 pi நான் இதல சப்ஸ்டிட் பண்றேன் it is a b pi L square omega divided by 2 pi will get cancelled so the relation EMF relation is nothing but your half b L square omega this is your EMF induced within the conductor எனக்கு வந்து EMF தெரியும் now I need to find the current so current ன்னு சொல்லும்போது it has its own resistance value so current I is equal to your E divided by your R which is equal to half B L square omega divided by R this is your current passing through this conductor so எனக்கு வந்து current தெரியும் and we need to find the power dissipated that is your heat dissipated remember so I'll discuss is heat dissipated Joule's law continuous flow of current heat generated heat dissipated So relation P is equal to your I square into R. So heat dissipated is equal to I square R. R, so I can rewrite the relation as E square by R, and heat dissipated with respect to time period. Now I'll take as T. So I'll take the relation as H. H is equal to I square RT. And here in this case, so now the I is substitute பண்றேன் இல்லனா வந்து E substitute பண்றேன். If you do it, so what will happen in the E square nala it will be 4, 1 by 4. It is a B square L power 4. நல்லா பாத்துக்கோங்க, B square L power 4 omega square divided by R into T. This is your power dissipated. These are your relations. So புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? டிபெண்ட்ஸ் அப்பான் த ஷேப்ஸ், அதோட EMF வந்து உங்களுக்கு சேஞ்ச் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். சர்க்குலர் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் தான், அந்த ரெக்டாங்குலர் பார்ட் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்.
சார் இந்த I ஸ்கொயர் வந்து E by R ஹோல் ஸ்கொயர் தானே சார்?
E by R whole square. Right ma. So you can say that one also. E by R whole square and R square பண்ணாலும் திரும்பி வந்து E square by R into T தான் வரும். அதுதான் வரும்.
Over sir.
Okay, good one. So let's see next. So next one. Okay, so next one will complete your orientation today. Orientation complete பண்ணிட்டு we'll stop here. And the next class on self inductance, mutual inductance, series parallel, and we'll do the problems. So chapter complete ஆயிடும். ரொம்ப சின்ன chapter தான், important chapter. So next topic வந்து alternating currents னு சொல்லிட்டு. So we'll go step by step. Okay. So first இது முடிச்சிடலாம். And whatever the doubts are there, you can take it down. Whether doubts you can ask at the end. So next one is your third case. The third case வந்து EMF வந்து induce பண்ற method. So we call it as changing the relative orientation. Changing the relative orientation theta of magnetic field B and your area A. Okay, so right now, so what I'll do, I'll take some magnetic field lines. So inside the magnetic field lines நான் என்ன place பண்றேன்னா ஒரு rectangular coil தான் நான் place பண்றேன். Let's see. So these are your magnetic field lines. So magnetic field lines. Okay, so this is your B vector and on the directions of the magnetic field lines. So here what I'll do, I'll take a rectangular conductor. I'll take a rectangular conductor. This is a rectangular conductor. This is a rectangular. Okay, rectangular conductor like this. So assume this is your rectangular conductor. So with respect to axis, it will try to move. Okay. So with respect to axis, it will try to move. So assume this is your axis. This axis. So இங்க பார்க்கும்போது இந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் லைன்ஸ் வந்து இந்த கண்டக்டருக்கு பாஸ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, எல்லாமே லிங்க் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. லிங்க் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு, கரண்ட் வந்து இன்டியூஸ் ஆகல. கரண்ட் இன்டியூஸ் ஆகணும்னா வாட் வி ஹேவ் டு டு, வி ஹேவ் டு கிவ் அ மெக்கானிக்கல் புஷ். ஸோ ஒரு மெக்கானிக்கல் ஃபோர்ஸ் நான் வந்து எக்ஸ்டர்னல் ஃபோர்ஸ் அப்ளை பண்ணது என்ன ஆகும், இட் வில் ட்ரை டு ரொட்டேட். அப்போ மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் லைன்ஸ் வந்து கட் ஆகும். when the magnetic field lines are cutting, what will happen? So the current is induced, that is first of all EMF induced ஆகும், then the current will be inducing within the conductor. Let's see, இதே வந்து நம்ம திரும்பி வந்து alternating currents நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றோம். So here I'm just taking this coil as a P, Q, R and S. This is a rectangular coil. This is a rectangular coil. So let's see the relations பண்றேன். So in this case, assuming நான் என்ன பண்றேன்னா ஒரு டாப் வியூ வந்து நான் பார்க்கறேன். So assume this is your side view. நான் டாப் வியூ வந்து பார்க்கும்போது same magnetic field linesல. So what I'll do, I'll place this conductor. I place this conductor. It's like this. So this is your coil. This is your coil. நான் வந்து ஒரு coil வந்து நான் place பண்ணிருக்கேன். So நான் வந்து coil place பண்ணும்போது நல்லா பார்த்துக்கோ, here it makes an angle theta. It makes an angle theta with respect to your magnetic field. அது maximum இருக்கலாம், இல்ல zero இருக்கலாம். It depends. Okay. So now what I'll do, so because of the mechanical force, that means because of the force acting on the conductor, from the center, it is like a dipole only. So from the center, what will happen? It will try to move. So then the slower move. So when it is moving, what will happen? It will create an angle theta here. So when it is moving, it creates an angle theta. So the angle theta with respect to your magnetic field lines. Angle theta with respect to your magnetic field lines. When it is making an angle theta with respect to magnetic field lines, இது வந்து continuously change ஆயிட்டே இருக்கு. So step by step, angle by angle, இதோட coil வந்து rotate ஆயிருக்கு like a dipole. So let's see the relationship. In this case, we know that flux phi is equal to your BA cos theta. Flux phi is equal to your BA cos theta. And on the angle theta, it depends upon your angular velocity, that is your omega, and with respect to time period. So we know the relation omega is equal to your theta divided by t, or theta is equal to omega t. ஏன்னா வந்து நம்ம time period based பண்ணி நம்ம discuss பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம் in terms of your angle theta கிடையாது. So what I'll do, so this is a flux. Instead of theta, I'm going to substitute your omega t. So flux phi is equal to BA, it is your cos omega t. So here I need to find your EMF. EMF E is equal to minus d phi by dt. So which is equal to minus dt by into your BA. So flux place lo na idu substitute பண்றேன், BA cos omega t. So here magnetic field வந்து கான்ஸ்டன்டா இருக்கும், ஏரியா கான்ஸ்டன்டா இருக்கும். So இதோட displacement பண்றதுல சேஞ்ச் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு with respect to your time period. Okay, differentiation of cos omega t. Let's see. So the formula is differentiation of your cos theta is your minus sin theta. Remember it. So differentiation of cos theta is minus sin theta. Okay, but here theta plus omega t and I'm going to differentiate with respect to time period. So d by dt of your cos omega t, so which is equal to minus sin omega t. But இங்க வந்து omega t plus t மட்டும் தான் நம்ம பண்றதுனால omega is separate. So again we have to differentiate omega t, will get into omega. So which is equal to minus omega into sin omega t. So I'm going to substitute the relation here. Minus of minus null plus of. So it is a b a omega, it is a sin omega t. And இதுல வந்து number of turns இருந்தா, இந்த coil வந்து number of turns இருந்தா என்ன ஆகும்? Into n. This is your EMF relation. And if you see that n of number of turns constant இருக்கு, area of the coil constant இருக்கு, magnetic field constant இருக்கு, எதுவுமே change ஆகாது, only displacement மட்டும் தான் change ஆயிட்டு இருக்கும். And அதோட speed constant இருக்கு. So everything is constant. So what I'll do, I'll take the term as epsilon naught. So n into a into b into omega as epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is nothing but your amplitude. So we can say the maximum peak value of EMF, peak voltage or peak EMF and so on. So I'll try the relation as E is equal to E naught sin omega t. Again, we'll see the relations. இது வந்து நம்ம next chapter alternating currents வரும். So இது வந்து continuous இந்த flux continuous the conductor வந்து continuous move பண்ணும்போது waveform எப்படி generate ஆயிருக்கு, அதோட relations என்ன, angle theta என்னென்ன form ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. So what are the relations? Everything we'll discuss again in your AC generator. Okay, இப்போதைக்கு இது memorize பண்ணிக்கோங்க. And we know the relation omega is nothing but, we already know omega is equal to your 2 pi by t and சொல்லிருக்கேன். Okay, instead of 2 pi by t, we are going to discuss in terms of your frequency 2 pi f, the total time period and the total frequency. So from this relation, EMF E is equal to E naught sin your 2 pi f into your time period t. This is your relation. Please take it. இதுல வந்து நான் கேசஸ் பத்தி சொல்ல again same thing we are going to discuss. Okay, so we'll discuss in your this one AC generator next chapter.
Sir, over, sir.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Okay, right. So we'll stop here. Just go through this concept. உங்களுக்கு வந்து நாளைக்கு டெஸ்ட் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிருக்கோம். ஏதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருக்காமா? ஏதாவது படிக்கிறீங்களா இல்லையா?
Some solve
பண்ணிட்டு
பண்ணிட்டு
இருக்கோம்.
இருக்கோம்.
Sir.
Right, ma'am. Please do practice it. நாளைக்கு வந்து உங்களுக்கு I'll share you the question paper PDF. Okay. And do practice it. கொஞ்சம் நீங்க வந்து நெகட்டிவ் மார்க்கிங் இனிமே உங்களுக்கு வந்து உண்டு. Okay. And இந்த கான்செப்ட் வந்து நாளைக்கு as usual 10 or 10:30 I'll update you the timing. So I'll complete this portion also. இந்த சாப்டர் வந்து நாளைக்கு கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணலாம் along with the problems. Okay. Any doubts so far?
டெஸ்ட் பேப்பர் வந்து ஈவினிங் சப்மிட் பண்ண
Evening, ஆமாமா. So after our class I'll give the paper. Okay.
அப்புறம் 11th கிளாஸ் நாளைக்கு தானே சார்?
நாளைக்கு தான்மா 3 o'clock நம்ம ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றோம் நாளைக்கு. ஏன் அது தனியா இது தனியா அதுல இதெல்லாம் வந்து நீங்க கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிக்கூட உங்க பேப்பர் வந்து within 1.5 hour வந்து you have to submit. Just please plan like this. Okay. So நீங்க வந்து நெகட்டிவ் மார்க்கிங் அவாய்ட் பண்ணிட்டு I'll give the marks. So நான் வந்து உங்க பேப்பர் வந்து I'll correct in front of you வந்து. Okay. So please make sure that நீங்க வந்து within time லோ you have to submit. ஏன்னா வந்து இனிமே வந்து have to move further. So continuous problem solve பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும். You have to complete your previous papers also. And mock test வந்து January வந்து you are going to start it. Okay. So I need to complete your portions. Okay. So same thing for your chemistry also. கொஞ்சம் plan பண்ணிக்கோங்க. We will move further. Okay. So I'll share these screenshots. எல்லாமே நான் ஷேர் பண்றேன். Right. So shall we see tomorrow? Any doubts in the concepts? Right. So we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.